Hello and welcome back. You're watching World is One News with me, Jessica Taneja. Now let's take a look at the stories making headlines around the world in 30 minutes. We start with news from India first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe will together lay the foundation stone for India's first bullet train project at around 10 a.m. this morning. Both leaders will take part of the groundbreaking ceremony of high-speed rail project at Athletic Stadium near Sabarmati railway station. The project is a joint venture between the Indian Railways and the Japanese firm Shinkansen Technology, signalling a big change in country's infrastructure. As many as 10,000 people will attend the historic ceremony. The London court will hear the ongoing extradition case of liquor baron Vijay Mallya today. Mallya will appear before the court. He is out on bail on an extradition warrant executed by Scotland Yard on behalf of the Indian authorities in April. The final hearing in the case will start from December 4th. Mallya is also wanted in India over a bank default case worth around 9,000 crore rupees to his now defunct Kingfisher Airlines. Indian government has been trying for his extradition ever since he left the country. The delegation of India and Pakistan will meet in the United States to hold talks on the long-standing water dispute. The two-day meeting will take place under the supervision of the World Bank. Pakistan approached the World Bank last year, raising objections to India's hydroelectric power plants, which is being constructed at River Neelam and Chenab. Islamabad objects to the design of the project under the Indus Water Treaty. It believes that the existing designs of the projects would not let adequate water to flow into its side. India has also begun constructing electricity projects, including the 1,000 megawatts plant in Pakaldul and 120 megawatts in Miyar and 48 megawatts plant in Lower Kalnai on the river Chenab tributaries. In yet another act of provocation, Pakistani security forces resorted to heavy firing across the line of control in Poonch, violating the ceasefire agreement between the two countries. Indian forces also retaliated. 5 people were injured. Earlier, Pakistani troops violated the ceasefire by firing and shelling for at least 3 times in this month. Armies of India and the United States will carry out a 2-week-long mega military exercise in Washington from today. This comes at a time where tensions in the Asia-Pacific region are at an all-time high. The aim of the annual exercise, Yudh Abhyas, is to further strengthen jointmanship and facilitate interoperability, in fact, between the two armies to meet any unforeseen contingency across the globe. The exercise, which will be held at the joint base Lewis McCord in Washington, will be one of the largest joint military training and defence cooperation endeavours between the two countries. The Bombay High Court will hear the transit anticipatory bail plea of Ryan Group CEO Ryan Pinto and its founders Augustine Pinto and Grace Pinto to apprehend the arrests in the case today. The court asked all concerned parties to make the submissions today. The father of the murdered child has also filed an intervening application on Wednesday to oppose Pinto family's pre-arrest bail pleas. After being released from ISIS, Indian priest Tom, in fact, met Pope Francis in Vatican. Liberated Father Tom bowed down to kiss the feet of the Pope at Santa Marta residence. Holy Father then raised Father Tom, embraced and encouraged him. The Pope said that he would pray for his well-being just like he did during his captivity. Father Tom also expressed a special gratitude to the Omani government who had secured his release. Speaking to reporters, he said he was not tortured by the militants during his more than 1 year of captivity. Meanwhile, the Indian government has insisted that no ransom was paid to secure his release, and various methods were adopted to get him out of there. And CBI has summoned Karti Chidambaram in connection with its probe into the Foreign Investment Promotion Board clearance given to the SL Marxist deal in 2006. Karti has been asked to appear before the investigation agency. According to the CBI charge sheet submitted in a special court, Mauritius-based As Global Communications is also a subsidiary of Maxis. It sought approval for an investment of $800 million in SL. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs was competent to grant the approval. However, the approval was granted by the Finance Minister himself. Delhi's Patiala House Court will frame charges against Delhi Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister in a criminal defamation case complaint. Besides them, the court will also frame charges against Yogendra Yadav in the case. The court had passed an order on framing a charge based on criminal defamation complaint filed by advocate Surinder Kumar Sharma. Sharma was denied a ticket by Aam Aadmi Party to contest assembly polls. A 10-year-old boy allegedly committed suicide by hanging himself in a storeroom near his house in Bagdi village near Shimla. The incident occurred last night and the boy allegedly posted his suicide note on social media website. The police said it is probing the boy had taken an online burial challenge which allegedly incites players to commit suicide. However, the boy's father in a statement has said that his son was unwell and had attempted suicide earlier as well. Stories from around the globe now. United Nations General Secretary Antonio Guterres reiterated his call for Muslims from Myanmar's Rakhine state to be granted nationality or at least the legal status that would allow them to lead a normal life. He also called out to the international community to help provide assistance for the nearly 380,000 people who fled into Bangladesh. And Guterres repeated his call for an effective action plan to address the root cause of the situation, which he said has been left to fester for decades and has escalated beyond Myanmar's border, destabilizing the region. In the last demonstration of crackdown on illegal immigrants, the United States Department will stop issuing certain kind of visas to some citizens to 4 countries of Cambodia, Eritrea, Guinea and Sierra Leone. As these countries refuse to take back their nationals, a new policy said that these 4 countries were denying or unreasonably delaying the return of their citizens from the United States and that visa restrictions would be lifted in a country if it's accepted its deportees. Typhoon Talim is moving rapidly towards China's Fujian and Zhejiang province. More than 2 lakh people have been evacuated. Next 2 days are crucial for the provinces as the weathermen forecast that Talim would intensify into a super typhoon with a speed of 180 to 200 km per hour. It will make it landfall in the Zhejiang province somewhere between Thursday night to Friday morning, and 20,000 fishing vessels have harboured nearly 200 sports and construction sites have been shut down because of that. Greek officials traded accusations after an oil spill from a sunken tanker drifted to other parts of the Cypriot Gulf in Athens. The 45-year-old vessel, Aegeazori 2, sank, in fact, on Sunday near the island of Salamis while under anchor. The cause is still unknown. The government, in fact, officials held an emergency meeting at the shipping ministry after the slick washed offshore near the Piraeus, which is the country's biggest port. A flurry of anonymous calls which turned out to be hoax triggered panic and fear in Moscow. False bomb threats sparked mass evacuation of more than 20,000 people across 20 sites in the Russian capital. 3 of Moscow's main train stations were being checked, along with the city's famous gun department, which is stored near the Red Square, and more than 20 other buildings. After one call was made asserting that the location had been mined. Russia has experienced a wave of hoax bomb threats this week. Local reports claim that so far 45,000 people have been evacuated and 200 buildings throughout the country received threat calls. A disgruntled student armed with several weapons opened fire at Washington State High School, killing a classmate who tried to reason with him and wounded 3 others before he was captured. According to reports, the death toll at the Freeman High School South Spokane, in fact, might have been even higher, the shooter's first weapon having been jammed at the outset. As global attention focused on Hurricane Harvey and Irma, more than 41 million people across South Asia battled floods and displacement. According to the World Resources Institute's Global Food Analyzer launched in 2015, from Afghanistan in the west to Bangladesh in the east, flood could cost South Asia as much as $250 billion each year by 2030. London's Fire Commissioner has called for sprinklers to be installed in Council Tower blocks following the deadly Grenfell inferno. He said that the disaster, which left at least 80 people dead, must be a turning point for safety regulations. This comes at a time when it was revealed that just 2% of half of the UK's council and social housing are kitted out with full sprinkler systems. A public inquiry into the cause of the blaze in West London will be launched today. Buses carrying evacuated Islamic State fighters reached Syria's Deir al-Zor in return for releasing a Hezbollah prisoner. Damascus and Hezbollah allowed nearly 300 lightly armed militants and 300 relatives to leave the Syrian-Lebanon border in a surrender deal after an offensive there just last month. The transfer marked the first time Islamic State publicly agreed to such evacuation from the territory it held. On course for re-election, German Chancellor Angela Merkel spurned her rival's request for a rerun of the head-to-head television debate in which he failed to dent her opinion poll lead. And with voting taking place on September 24th, Martin Schulz's left-leaning Social Democrats trailed Merkel's Conservatives by around 14 percentage points. Israel's Supreme Court has cancelled all legalization exemption in fact of Jewish religious seminary students from military service. According to reports, the ruling has angered ultra-Orthodox lawmakers who could destabilize Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition. A panel of 9 justices ruled that parts of the conscription law that exempts seminary students from service were unreasonable and unconstitutional. The government is given a year to resolve the matter. Spain's public prosecutor has summoned more than 700 Catalan mayors to appear for questioning over the support for a banned independence referendum. Prosecutors had earlier ordered the seizure of the ballot papers and voting materials. Catalonia's vote on breaking away from Spain is deemed illegal and has been suspended by the Constitutional Court. But Catalonia's pro-independence government has said that the referendum, which is planned for October 1st, will go ahead. If the vote is held, prosecutors could charge the council leaders with misuse of public funds. Riots broke out in Kenya's opposition stronghold of Kisumu City after a rumour spread about alleged efforts to rig the next month's presidential election as well. Now, several people were injured as police engaged in protesters who blocked roads in the southwestern city and threw stones. Tear gas was used to disperse those protesters. A video showing a chainsaw wielding nun cleaning up after Hurricane Irma in Florida has gone viral. The footage, which has been shot by a police officer, captures a nurse in a chainsaw to clear a fallen tree knocked over by a hurricane. As of September 13, the video was viewed over 1.1 million times on Twitter alone. Dozens of wakeboard riders from Russia and across the globe splashed the waters of a 50-meter pool in the heart of Moscow as part of the Russian capital's birthday celebration. The competition, featuring the world's best wakeboarding professionals, took place less than 100 meters from Red Square in the country's biggest all-weather temporary wake park. The pool will be opened to professional riders and the general public till October 8th. Real Madrid defender Marcelo has renewed his contract with the reigning Spanish and European champions. The 29-year-old Brazilian has been the Spanish capital outfit since 2006 and has extended his contract till 2022. Marcelo has been the club's mainstay at left back since 2007 and has won 11 major trophies with LoC Bangkok.